we really give the artist the court as a canvas to do their design work. Now, whatever type of medium they generally use, obviously we have to translate that to the hardwood floor, and that's the kind of the beauty of where I come into play.
ATWF, all things wood floors. Welcome to 2022 and beyond. I'm your host, Steve Diggins, your fellow floor pro in arms. Artist, floor pro Luis Perez joins me to talk about the magic that he brings to sports courts indoors and outdoors and into our inner cities each day. Luis Perez travels the country spreading sportsmanship, brotherhood, pride, artistic expression, and threes outside the paint. His paint, hero flooring style. We're going to find out how Perez founded his company and hear about the passion and drive that he brings to his craft each day. Sit up straight, make sure your car's in park, and enjoy. This one's a short one, but Luis Perez is a tall, cool glass of talent. So crank it up, drink it in, and bring it in, baby. ATWF welcomes artist, writer, painter, floor pro Luis Perez of Hero Flooring LLC. Wood floor pros around the world, let's get to it, baby! All right, Luis Perez from Hero Flooring LLC in Atlanta, Georgia. Welcome to All Things Wood Floor.
Hello, sir. How you doing? Appreciate you having me.
See how easy that was?
Yeah.
How'd your drive-through go? Did you get something good?
Yeah, you want to know where I am?
Yeah, I do. I'm fascinated with this stuff.
It's actually called Mr. Hero.
That's perfect.
It's a nice little sub spot up here in the northeastern Ohio area. So yeah, it's pretty good.
Well, hey, there's a good segue. How did you come up with Hero Flooring? What's the story behind that?
All right, so I started my first business in Orlando. I was living down in Orlando, and that was called Yogo Whippy Flooring, and that means you only get out what you put in. And it's a jumble of letters. Obviously, it's an acronym, and every time people be like, "What does this mean? What is this? How do you say it?" And I'm like, "All right, I got to change this up." So I moved to Atlanta, and up there they actually have a highway emergency response operator. And I'm riding down the highway, and I'm thinking of a business name, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna coin that and change it to Hardwood. And yeah, that's kind of how it came about. It stands for Hardwood Emergency Response Operator.
Oh,
Hero.
That's cool. I like that.
Yep.
Now I saw that when you first called on the 407 because I used to live in Orlando. And so how did you're where now though? Atlanta, Georgia?
Yeah, I'm based in Atlanta and I actually have a company in Cincinnati as well.
Gotcha. So for the podcast folks that are going to be listening, explain to me what you do, because this is a whole different thing. You do gymnasiums and sport floors, but that's not exactly what you do. Give me the whole resume.
I like to lately. I've been trying to come up with a proper, term for what I am. I just kind of align with custom court designer. Sort of like a courtiste.
Yeah,
that's what we call it.
I like that.
I've been partnering up recently with a company named Project Backboard and Peterson brothers, Dan and Sam Peterson. So essentially what Project Backboard does is they find a court in an area that needs renovated, and they'll find an artist. We really give the artist the court as a canvas to do their design work. Now, whatever type of medium they generally use, obviously we have to translate that to the hardwood floor, and that's the kind of the beauty of where I come into play. And they kind of hit me up and they were like, hey, we got this crazy design, Carlos Rolón, it's this tile, and we want to replicate this old porcelain tile look on hardwood. And I'm like, all right, yeah, let's do it. It's never been done before. I had seen a court that they did down in North Carolina, and they just had these beautiful designs. They had an artist come in and hand paint, this Native American design, and it was just very intricate, and it blew my mind away. And it really I just got excited, because I'm like, okay, this is what I want to do, because we can do more wild things. It just gets boring staining the key lanes, putting a little bit of extra paint around here, big block letters, and I like to push the veil. And these guys were kind of a perfect match. And we went to Pilsen up there at the Boys and Girls Club, and I'll tell you what, it was a tough one to figure out, bro. We had massive amounts of logos, covered the whole 3-point arc area. We had to tint probably 6 or 7 different blues to match up, and we were just layering paint. We hand painted for about 14 days straight. It was myself, Sam, and I believe we had 5 or 6 artists from the studio. It was a really great experience, man. It was really a collective a group effort. It wasn't just me or anything like that.
How'd you get
But
Carlos involved? He's is he from Puerto Rico?
yes, he is. That's Project Backboard. So yeah, that's Dan Peterson and Sam Peterson's thing. They know pretty much everybody. Everybody's heard of them. They're pretty big stuff out there. And
Right.
they find an artist, and I'm sure they've talked to God knows how many. And a lot of people are interested in what we're doing because obviously it's different art in basketball. And the basketball court, this is why I fell in love with it. It's just such a massive canvas, and to, like we were discussing before, how traditional the playing court is. There's just so much empty space that you could actually bring life and vibrancy to. And these kids, especially in the inner cities and the underdeveloped communities, like, for them to get some beautiful artwork and some really fun, fancy stuff, like it's inspiring almost, And that's been also the other side of the coin that I get to see. Generally, when you're doing contract work, like in the summertime, when the kids are in school, you're just gym to gym to gym to gym to gym nonstop for 3 months, 4 months straight, and you never see the end result. You just put the final coat on and you keep it pushing on to the next gym. And when I did that project with Project Backboard up in Chicago, we actually had two projects. There was that one, and then the Show Shy Love event with Venice Ball. And both of those projects, the courts, we had events that coincided with All-Star Weekend. And it was the first time that I actually got to sit back and experience, the kids and the community and everybody coming to the gym and seeing the new court and like bringing life to these areas. And it just felt amazing. It gave me new purpose. It gave me more principle in what I'm doing. And
was the Show Shy Love? Was that the Breakthrough Familyplex?
Yes.
With all the street signs?
Yes, sir. That
was correct. Hey, I just wanted to. How'd they come up with that? It was super cool. If you look online or in the magazine, the keys and the courts have street signs everywhere. How'd they get that together? What's that about?
So, in designing these courts, like, we kind of just do whatever. I don't know. Me, Sam, there's a group of us. And for that one specifically, they were coming up with these designs, and the guy at the front desk that actually works in the facility. So they put that's like a multi-million-dollar facility on the west side of Chicago. And it's it's amazing. And they actually employ people from the neighborhood at the facility. They're giving opportunity. So this guy, he's like, man, he works at the front desk. Pretty sure his name is, I want to say Otis Nash. Great dude. He came up with the idea. He's like, man, we would love to have our community here represented. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, what can we, put the street names in the key lane or what have you? We're like, absolutely. We can do whatever we want. And, obviously it turned out to be an amazing idea. And then I came up with the idea to stain the 3-point arcs baby blue, kind of represent Lake Michigan around, the city of Chicago. And it came out looking beautiful. I got to put my shatter down, that border design around the outside perimeter. And it's just cool, man, like to see how things have developed and came to this. If you told me 10 years ago I'd be where I am, I'd tell you you're crazy, bro. And it's just awesome. Every day is a new challenge. Every project's a new challenge. And I'm very fortunate and blessed for this opportunity.
I'll tell you said about, I think you quoted in Wood Floor Business Magazine, you said you've done every YMC gym from Jacksonville to Miami. I used to live down there. I've done every one around here, and I'm not getting any shatter borders or splash lakes or. Hey, do me a favor, explain the shatter, because I thought that was really cool. You'll see it in magazines. You can see it online if anybody looks up your work. That's your gig, right? The outer perimeter.
Yes. So like that's kind of something that I've been trying to push. Just with the custom aspect, because I feel like, okay, I get it. If you don't want to go as crazy as putting some design work on the plane of the floor, might mess with the players and what have you, at least the border, like that's kind of accentuates everything, gives it that extra flair. So the shatter essentially is, it has to do with, growing up as kids, we generally go through a lot of trauma, and whatever that may be, those traumas you carry through life, and you got to figure out a way to put those pieces back together and make yourself into an adult. And those traumas, those broken pieces, when you put them together at the end, they usually make a more beautiful design. And that's you just becoming a man, becoming a woman, becoming an adult and somebody superior to what you used to be. And that's just kind of what it aligns with. And,
man, you're thinking on another level. This is so artistic compared to, what a lot of us do every day, just throwing wood down.
Yeah.
The shattered, boy, that's very poetic if you think about it, because, they always say, and I coached for years, leave it off the court. Your shatter is not on the court. It's outside the court. It's on the outside where there are no rules for the shatter. But you and I both know when you're painting in the court, there's rules. There's right of way. There's basketball lines have to take precedence over, volleyball and pickleball and all these other things that go on there. That is so cool that you're making your statement literally outside the lines, on the outside. Isn't that what all these projects are about? I think I saw. Was it Under Armour that was doing the building bridges through basketball?
Essentially, yeah. So I think the Under Armour, again, that was Project Backboard's partnership deal. They brought me on as the floor guy collaboration to make sure everything went smoothly. And I just, I had the opportunity to partner up with them. But I believe that's what their mission was. And I know like Hoop Bus and Venice Ball, their mission statements, build courts, not walls. And yeah, there's I like to call it like a basketball renaissance going on right now, man. And it's alive and well. It's all over the world and spreading like fire. Project Backboard, the basis of their company is outdoor courts. So, they do a lot of their stuff on outside areas. It's really run down. They got this guy named Edwin, Safe Surfaces out of LA. He's a great dude. He's amazing at what he does. And he resurfaces these places, and then they come in and draw some amazing artwork. Again, they'll find a local artist and they'll execute the art. And Sam's like the best at what he does, and leading these teams. And we got a really great team, man. It's crazy how we all came together, but nothing happens for no reason. You know what I'm saying? So it's meant to be.
Oh, I can't Carlos Rolón he's a post-colonial artist. Like I studied art in college, and I sketch and this and that. He's got some exhibits that are incredible. How did they get him involved with the basketball court? That's fascinating.
They actually did a court with him down in Puerto Rico, and that worked out well together. Like I said, Dan's the man. He's got so many different connections. This network's massive. And, they had their own relationship, and they did the court in Puerto Rico. It was a success. And then I guess, he hit him up and said, hey, would you like to do this in, a Chicago community? Because Carlos is based in Chicago now. And it ended up working out, man. It was a home run. They got Designer Court of the Year that year, and it kind of put us on path to where we are now.
Well, that's true. He's at the Artist Institute of Chicago, right?
Honestly, I don't know.
I believe he is, because they don't fool around there. American Gothic is there, and Seurat's, that's where all this pointillism is on display. They're putting big time. That's so crazy. They get big time art, museum quality, and artists in with street work and outdoor courts. That is a really cool concept. Is it different for you when you're going to do like an outdoor court, and when you get indoors? On the indoor courts, do you have to follow more, technical rules about how it's designed, or does that not matter because it's, all the courts are for fun?
I like to say it's the same. It's the same but different. It's a like beast. It's like a bear to a lion.
Yeah.
They're both tough, but they have their own characteristics. So like outside, you got to take temperature into effect. Your weather is major. You always got to be watching your weather. The rain, if it rains, obviously that messes you up for days. If it's too cold, the paint doesn't dry. There's a lot of different factors in that realm, and then obviously in how you actually apply the courts. So outside, you use more like a grid aspect of it, and
sure.
You square it off and you scale it, and then you draw out your squares. When you do it inside, it has to be more perfect. It's wood, So obviously in the preparation, and like outside, you could when you touch up, you say I dropped a drip of green on the blue. You could just paint over the green drip with some blue paint in it, and it'll fade away.
Sure.
But when you're indoors, you can't do that. It's got to be perfect, and there's a lot of scraping. There's a lot of taping off, rolling the tape lines. Outside, you can't really tape. There's really not good tape that adheres to the concrete. There's a rough, porous surface. So in doing that, oftentimes you have to prime those game lines prior to actually applying some paint. And there's just so many different tricks and tricks of the trade. But like I said, our team is amazing, and we got kind of the best of everybody in the respective positions. So, we execute very thoroughly.
How do you square up? Like, let's say you're just doing a 3-point arc or something out on an outdoor court. And like you said, if it's porous and it's moving in different directions, how do you square the lines up? like a grinder or something, or do you paint them up, or how do you clean up your lines?
Well, we actually do use the tape and skate machine, and so like we'll run the tape lines, and the tape often doesn't stick that well. So initially, you have to prime that line, and the primer kind of acts as a glue. It helps that tape stick to the ground more around the borders where the paint's going to be, so you get minimal bleed out, and you get some nice clean lines that way.
Cool. Do you, like when you were talking about gridding it out, right? That's a lot of times with art, you take something that you like, or you sketch, you scale it. And if you move it to another place, you just rescale it and make it larger. Are they doing this artwork like on a sketch pad or internally first, and then gridding it outdoors or in a court and making it much larger?
Yes. So everything's done on a computer to scale. So we'll make the mock-up on the computer digitally.
Yep.
And Sam's really good with that. And like, we can do it down to the inch, to the square foot. So you got to be really precise with your measurements. And once you get those to Sam, he puts it in the computer, gets a nice mock-up made of whatever the court size may be. If we got a short side on this wall, we need to make any adjustments, we can do it all on the computer first, and then we'll have our mock-up from there, and then we'll translate the artwork to that. You send the artist the blank document, and then they'll fill in whatever their artwork wants to be, and then we'll kind of figure out a game plan, how we're going to figure it out and make it happen.
Yeah, so like if your artwork in the drawing board is, let's say it's scaled an inch by an inch, then you move out to the court, maybe it's a foot by a foot, and you translate the artwork, and it's kind of like blowing it up.
Exactly.
Oh, that's awesome. Are the materials, it's got to be crazy stuff that you're using outdoors. Is it like an epoxy type of painting system? It must be something that's got to last longer.
It's called Acrotech. I want to say some acrylic-based stuff. They throw sand in there. Yeah. Edwin's got the mixtures down, man. Actually just made a how-to video recently, and really gives you all of the basic information on what you need, type of product, type of tools you need. I mean, he mixes in a 55-gallon drum, and it's very similar to pulling the T-bar coat. When you resurface the court, they use a big squeegee, and it's pretty awesome to see come together.
What outdoors? What goes over your artwork? What are they squeegeeing over the artwork?
There is nothing that goes over the artwork. So right. The paint actually has the protective stuff in it, and they put sand in it as well to give it some good grip, and that's it, man.
These local people must eat this up like crazy. It's got to be very exciting to the neighborhood.
Oh, dude, it's wildfire, man. If you get on social media, you get on Instagram, there's people from France to Portugal to, I'm talking South America, all over the world. These guys got courts going up in Japan. A guy in Japan actually just recently hit me up about an indoor floor. And it's like I said, it's connecting the world. There's a Facebook sports contractors group. There's guys in Russia in there. There's guys down in Argentina. The dude Paul Nelson, he actually helped those guys in Argentina do an installation. And it's just like I said, it's beautiful to see. Like we got a massive wood floor family and how connected everybody is. It's awesome.
I hope that you painted every square parking space plus the handicaps in Chicago, because every kid's gonna want to be on that court, right? They must be lining up to get that. Do they have to divvy up time? I can imagine everybody wants that court.
It's amazing, man. I can't imagine myself either. I'm actually going to go back here soon and put a recoat on both of those floors, bring them back. So I like doing this, man. It's really awesome. I've been fortunate enough to put that shatter in, I think it's in 6 cities now. I got 2 in Atlanta. I got 1 down in Austin, Texas, 1 in Cincinnati. I got 1 in Chicago. And I believe we have 1 in Dayton, Ohio as well.
Well, listen, I probably can't do it justice, but for people that don't know what the shatter is, if you look online at any of the work that Luis does, he paints the outer perimeter of the courts it's your own style. It's almost like stained glass. It's your artwork done with. Is it painted in flooring? It's all been painted. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
And you can tell it's definitely your signature thing. It's super cool looking, and just the fact that you called it the shatter. I didn't know what that was. I glanced through the article, and when I started looking, I'm like, oh, I get it. The outer courts almost look like stained glass that exploded.
Exactly, man. Yeah, it's awesome. I really love it. And like I said, it just brings that flavor, some extra vibrancy. Even if there was no message behind it, it looks great. Yeah, I love.
Yeah, it does.
Making stuff just look better. And I'm fortunate, man. It's a great opportunity, and I'm just blessed to be able to do what I love, man. We recently just completed some projects for NBA All-Star Weekend up here in Cleveland. And man, I'll tell you what, we did 4 gyms. I did the Merrick House. That was with Project Backboard. We did Zelma Watson George Rec Center, and that was with the Hoop Bus, Project Backboard, and Venice Ball. And then we did 2 boys and girls clubs, and partnered with the NBA on those as well.
That's crazy. How do you how do you probably don't prefer one. If it was me, I'd be thinking, well, all right, cool. We got an outdoor court, and maybe next month I got an indoor. But I don't think I could go back to doing a racquetball court up the street, right? Or do you listen? Every floor person in the world will. I have a friend that will tell you. He said to me once, I go, "What are you working on today?" He goes, "Out in it's a very small town in New Hampshire on a swamp," and he said, "We're doing a log cabin 10 by 10 and there's animal urine." And I go, "Weren't you in the White House a week ago?" He goes, "Yeah, we were in the White House for a month." How do you go from what you're doing to just like throwing together a racquetball court or something? You don't do regular everyday living room, dining room stuff, right? It's just sports stuff.
I mean, I started doing residential and I slowly strayed away, and I probably do one house a year now. I don't like
your family.
Yeah, if that, and then like I did do a sport of fitness in northern Kentucky. We did like a 3,000-foot tear out there, had some water damage. We did a replacement of a racquetball court and a dance aerobic studio there. And I mean, it's work, keeps you busy. And like obviously I would love to do artwork all day, every day. That's the dream. And but not everybody's looking to do things like that. And we're pushing the veil. Like I said, this one at Merrick House, that is one of one. I think it's the Carlos Rolón court is probably the best court that we've done to date, but this Merrick House is so clean, so precise. It was incredible. We did full court logos. I'm talking from baseline to baseline. And we partnered with an artist named Dakari Smith. He's based out of, he's born and raised in Cleveland. He's based out of Los Angeles now. And man, I'll tell you what, that was a project, bro. We were painting on that one for about 21 days. Now, it was nuts, man. The gym itself the building itself is 120 years old. And the wood floor is from, I'd say easily the 1940s and 50s. It's 30 seconds. Like I've never even seen what that thick in my life.
Yeah, a traditional gym. These people that are doing 3/4 inch sports floors, that's not traditional. That's 30 seconds. They should be 30 seconds. Yeah, you got the real stuff there. So this is what's happening. That these aren't typically brand new floors. You're getting a shot at these really well established, well installed floors that are getting an entirely new life breathed into them.
Exactly. It's incredible, man.
So, but it's resonating. There's a lot more artistry here than there are people that do some really incredible wood installs and wood bending and inlay, and we don't talk about sports floors much. And what's fascinating is that there's artistic work and impression going into these floors. What's your background? Is art your whole gig? Do you sketch at home and doodle and paint and everything? Like I when I'm not here, that's what I'm doing. I have a sketch pad. I like to copy cartoons. I like to draw. It sounds like you have an art background.
Not super like artsy guy. I mean, like on my own time, I like to paint. I do like to paint a lot. But really, it's just I have a creative aspect about me. There's just making things better. Wood is my medium, so I'm able to kind of translate that paint aspect to the wood floor. And now it's more or less, okay, how can we use these tints to give different color effects? Like on the Merrick House floor, we used a cool product, and like if you check it out, the paint actually changes colors. So when you're looking at it from afar, it's orange, but when you stand on it, it's hot pink. Whoa. And it's like, I'm trying to push the veil of just different, you know what I'm saying? Stuff that's never been seen before. I want to touch stuff nobody's ever touched. I'm just trying to climb mountains, and the more difficult, the better, I guess you could say. There's so much you could do. I hate how I don't like to say hate, but there's just such a cap off in the tradition of what the wood floor was like, the average gym floor. And there's just so much more. I like to see a lot of the colleges now, they're starting to pick up on it. I think I saw Washington State University. They have a pretty sweet court. It's like stained dark gray with the backdrop of the skyline in there. And Memphis Tigers have a really cool court. It's stained baby blue all the way throughout. And I mean, even those, like, they're still pretty basic if you ask me. Like, And I'm looking at these big facilities, and your stuff's gonna be on TV. Why not have something amazing there that people that's gonna wow people?
Or you're part of a revolution, because you may not know this, but on the other side of it, that's exactly what they're talking about. We were talking with the Canlac guys about gym coatings and what they really are, and it's interesting. Basketball and courts like this are becoming so exciting. What do you think the big problem is? They're glossy, too shiny, and because you need the slip resistance for safety. But television crews are finding so much more drama in what a floor can look like, but for them to be safe, they typically have to be tacky and they have to be glossy. And camera people, it drives them crazy. So they are in the NBA and the NCAA moving towards flashier, better, brighter, more artistic expression, but now they've got to make sure it's coated with something. And you mentioned it on an outdoor court with the sand. It still has to be safe for people, but you are part of a movement, because basketball, it's the excitement alone in the sport, and it's such a tiny little court. I went to a Celtics game a few weeks ago, and I mean, it's smaller than a tennis court when you watch people play. It's amazing. But I'm looking at what they're doing with the courts, and they're exciting. This is not just advertising and money, it's the artwork. And for people that hear our podcast, they really got to go to Wood Floor Business or look online to see what we're talking about. I mean, you have giant waves and loads of color, and you can see the people in the background. They're drooling to get on this court. Just so much. They're lining it up, and they're so excited about it. You can tell they're excited about their community. It's something different. The neighborhoods look super classy when this type of work is done. It's like it doesn't have to be graffiti or art, of that design. You're putting really modern art onto the inner city courts, and everybody's enjoying the community. It even makes the game of basketball more exciting.
Yeah, man, you hit it all on the head. Honestly, it's full circle. Like I said, the give back, the opportunity to change things, and I like it too because honestly, with the floor game, I'm gonna probably die doing gym floors, man. So This is kind of my legacy. I realize that, and I like where I've kind of niched myself off, because more or less, we're paving the way, like you said. There's a revolution, staying away from the traditional floors. Now, granted, I'll take some work. If I got to do a gym, I'll do a gym. But my
pay the bills.
My game plan is to really, really stay into the custom realm and just keep pushing the heights, bro. I wanna do so much stuff. I'm actually talking to someone now about potentially. Have you seen the epoxy river tables?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so they're doing this thing now. They'll take a big bad like an old some bogwood that's in the bottom of the river from hundreds of years. That stuff petrifies and it looks beautiful. Cut down the trunk, and they'll split the trunk in half, and they'll put the two pieces down, and it'll make almost the natural wave of the tree will make it like a river impression almost.
Sure.
And they're filling this with crazy colors of epoxy, and they actually make it look like a river, like it's water. There's baby blue, there's any color you can imagine. And I'm thinking man, why can't we do that on the gym? Right. And I've been thinking about trying to utilize, different species, get some purple heart, put that in the key lane and just coating that. That would look amazing, having that under some poly. And I don't know, man. I think everything is, the opportunities are limitless. It's just, like I said, finding the people that are willing to work with you and allow you to push those limits.
Hey, Wood Floor Pros. This is Kim Walgren, the editor of Wood Floor Business. Are you looking for tips on installation, sanding, and finishing? Best practices on running your business? The coolest floors being done today, like the ones being created by our guest, Luis Perez? Make sure you have a current subscription to Wood Floor Business, where we provide advice specifically for Wood Floor Pros, written by Wood Floor Pros. It's free as long as you're in the industry. All you have to do is go to woodfloorbusiness.com, click subscribe, and fill out the quick form. That's it for now. Let's get back to our conversation with sports floor artist Luis Perez.
Everybody that owns a business or operates a business, and they'll tell you, you can ask them. I could probably tell you 100 people that tomorrow would gladly give you their business and run and hide, because if you're either running a business or it runs you. And people will say, well, how do you know when you've got something good besides, you're getting paid well? Well, I say it gets legs, and you can hear just from what you're talking about. I don't know how long you've been doing this, but it sounds like you started yesterday. The ideas that just coming to you, man. The ideas got legs. You probably can't stop your head from flooding with ideas on how to do the next great floor.
Yeah, man, we're always working, always designing, always pushing the veil. I started this when I was, I believe, 19. I just turned 30 this past August, so I'm about 11 years in the game, and I still got a long way to go, man. And I'm just, like I said, I'm just waiting for my time to really, really peak out. But I feel like no one ever really peaks. You always got more to learn. But yeah, I'm just always going to be trying to do something crazy, something different, and just trying to top the last one. I found myself the last couple of years. Every gym I do, I'm like, yo, this is the best gym I've ever done.
Right.
This is the best gym I've ever done.
Yeah.
And it's been awesome. I'm grateful for that. So.
Hey, you know what happens with flooring? You'll get done in a decade, and they'll call you at the first one you ever did and said, we're thinking of wiping the canvas clean and starting. No, you'll be doing this forever. Didn't you also get a best gym and next gen award?
Yeah. That was the same year. We got the best custom court design.
Yeah, Wood Floor Business Magazine, best gym and also next generation award.
Yes, sir.
Look at that. You're just a baby. You're 30 years old. You get honors and accolades all over the place.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying. Yeah,
I'm quitting my job at 4 o'clock. I'm going to come work for you.
Yeah, right.
Can you explain it to my wife, please?
Yeah. Good luck with that. I think
Yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah, thanks, buddy.
Yeah, man.
That's crazy. You were mentioning when we were talking about the Show Shy Love thing. What was the other project you said that was similar to that?
We actually did it here in Cleveland for All-Star Weekend. So there's this group called Venice Ball and Hoop Bus, and they're partners. And so the Hoop Bus is this amazing idea. They took a school bus and they literally wrote hoop instead of school. And they put a basketball hoop and a backboard on the front and the back of the bus. And they pull up to neighborhoods, inner city, wherever they are. I mean, they'll get out at a stoplight with the basketball and they'll pass the ball to a guy walking on the street, take a shot, yo. And it's like amazing, it's crazy, it's such a vibe when you see it. Everybody gets excited. Like, what is that? That's awesome, And like I said, like with this basketball renaissance, there's just a super, super duper wave. I feel like maybe when COVID hit, everybody was at home and like the Hoop Bus came out and like that just kind of revitalized people, gave us something fun to look at, something to be a part of, and that's also why I love doing this, man. Like I said, we're affecting so much more. It's so much bigger than just doing floors,
Is this getting the attention of like the NBA and NCAA, or do they kind of have their own standard, format, or do you think that they make beautiful courts, but are they going to become more creative, more artistic?
That's my plan, bro. I'm hoping I'm doing them.
That's what I was thinking. It's in my head.
I'm hoping that's what I'm doing.
Look, I've known you forever. I'm watching your back right now. I'm good. I will make some calls for you.
I appreciate that. Do that, man. No, seriously. But like, again, it's one of those things. I'm just taking it slow. Like I know the network, the connections come. The people that need to hear about me, they're gonna hear about me. Like you said, my accolades are coming up. I got a couple articles with Wood Floor Business. I got one in Hardwood Floor Business last year. And it's just, like I said, it's beautiful, man. I never would have dreamed this is happening. And, I'm just doing what I love to do. And
you're talking to me, man. You might have to talk to someone about a limo or something soon.
Yeah, right, man. Yeah, right. Limo, it'll be an extended work van.
Right. I know, right? Yeah, you'll have that flooring van, that 30 feet back. There's an outdoor hot tub and then all your paint supplies.
There you go. That's
now you're sporting it. Is there a because gym people have like a season, like school closes, the bell rings, and I get the gyms done and get out. Is there a gym season for you, or you're just going to be busy year round with this?
No, I'm pretty year round now. So like it was initially when I started contracting, I would dip and do residential in the fall and winter months, and then obviously soon as summertime calls, I got about 3 or 4 solid guys that I can travel anywhere in the States and do some gym floor work. And then I started doing these custom projects, and then, my name just started getting out there. And I really dwell in the private trainer market, the NBA skills trainers, things like that. People that have their own facilities, and the guys that are willing to work with me and allow me to do that extra artwork and things like that. Because like I said, a lot of these corporate businesses, a Lifetime Fitness, a YMCA, those artistic things aren't always allowed. They just don't want it for whatever reason. So
no, as a matter of fact, I've done one of their gyms in a weekend and then spent an entire day sharpening the logo because it's really important, their logo right now, and they've made changes to it. And if it doesn't have a curve and it's got a square edge, you'll be there with a razor all day until it's the right curve. Which is cool. It looks very sharp, but it's not like the freestyle work that you do that's got more expression to it. Hey, as long as it doesn't interfere with the sport being played and it looks great, I'm all for it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. But yeah, back to what you were saying. You asked about the event. It was Show Clee Love. So what they do is they travel around. They did like a Show LA Love. Yep. They did a Show Shot Love, and now Show Cleveland. So every All-Star game, they're gonna probably pull up in the city, and they're gonna have I think it's in Utah next year, Show Salt Lake Love. And it's amazing, man. So I had the opportunity to help them, revitalize the court. And what they do is they kind of activate they call it space activation. They'll bring they got professional dunkers, professional basketball players. They got like a whole crew on the hoop bus, social media personalities, influencers, and everybody comes out and has a big party for the kids. This last one we did was partnered with Puma Hoops and the Terry Rozier Foundation. So the gym that we did, the Zelma Watson George Rec Center, was actually Terry Rozier's rec center he grew up playing basketball in Cleveland. And he gave him a Sharpie, signed on there. He said, if you can make it from here, you can make it anywhere. And it's pretty amazing to see. Like I said, he said it was a dream come true for him to always have his own facility. And obviously, you're impacting the kids' lives in your community. And he said it's just full circle, man. It's amazing. People helping people.
You got to get me out there. I played basketball in 1970-something. In 3 seasons, I got 4 points. One kid scared me so bad, I threw the ball and it went into the hoop. But I was probably the greatest passer of all time because I was scared to death to be out there. And anybody passed it to me, it went right back to him. I'm terrible at it. I love the game, though. I had a lot of fun playing, and you watch. It's so diverse. There isn't anybody in my neighborhood that doesn't have some form of a hoop in their driveway.
Yeah.
And I'm like you, when I see a lot, listen, this is really bad. If I work all week and I consult with a lot of flooring people, then I might have to go to Lowe's or Home Depot, and I promise my wife I won't go near the flooring aisle. And then I hear somebody in the flooring aisle getting really bad advice, and I'll stay there all day. You must be stopping by every hoop you see to see what's underneath it.
Oh, man, just about, honestly, I don't like to toot my own horn, but I know ain't nobody doing what we're doing over here. You know what I mean? Honestly, it's cool, man. A lot of people, I've been fortunate enough of reaching out to me. Social media is a beautiful thing, I was told you're either using it or it's using you. So I like to get real interactive, put my work out there. I talk to a lot of guys, a lot of trainers. I made a lot of great, solid connections, and it's a great way to display your work and, show the world what you can do. And, like I said, just to see this artwork on these courts, that Merrick House was probably one of my better projects. It was incredible. The gradient paint, the big, solid, blocked out colors. There were 3 people dribbling basketballs across the floor. And we had to stain neutral tones to match their skin tones, and there was just so many different applications that went to the final result. And I mean, for how perfect it came out, man, I'm proud of it, man. It was amazing.
It's like chicken pox? Like your whole neighborhood, everyone's driveway's painted, or is it okay? Is yours? Do you have like a hoop in your driveway ready to roll?
No, I don't. I'm never home, man. I'm always.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, man. Go ahead.
So what's your favorite? So your favorite part of this? I'm going to ask you, but I guess I know the answer to this. When you're doing your job each and every day, I know it's not the traveling, and I know that you don't eat at the finest restaurants from what you ordered 10 minutes ago. What is your favorite part of what you're doing?
I mean, honestly, it's everything. I love where I am in my life and how everything's, come to this point. I worked really, really, really hard for a lot of years. I've done gyms in Rose Glen, North Dakota, man. I've been in Battle Creek, Nebraska. I've been up in Mount Helena, Montana. I've been all over. I actually did a gym last summer out in Durango, Colorado, man. That was amazing. That was a great experience. And I love the traveling aspect. I love the fact that I could literally drop all my tools right now. I could go somewhere else and I could get a job doing some gym floor somewhere. And there's a gym everywhere. I want to do this all over the world. Hopefully, things settle down with the virus and all that cool stuff. And I want to start traveling. I want to take it internationally. I would love to go to Canada, Mexico, really want to go back to Puerto Rico. I've actually been talking to some guys down there about redoing some gyms, but everything's been so wild lately. I just want to take some time off. This trip in Cleveland kind of wore me out, man.
No, yeah, I can hear you. Listen, you're probably the hardest person to wrangle up for this podcast, and we've had trouble with a lot of people because everybody's so busy. And I've been chasing you down because I've been reading more and looking at some of the stuff you've done online, and I would have waited forever. You know, you're a good writer too, buddy. I saw some of your stuff that was not written about you or for you, but that you wrote, and you got a lot of. You're deep. You got a lot of vision. It's not just about. I mean, one, your work ethic, two, your artistic vision, and the amount of time and effort that you put into it. I mean, I told my kids, if you can go do what you love, please go do what you love. It pays off. You talk about what you do. You can tell you love doing this.
Yeah, man. I'm blessed, bro. Like I said, it's kind of like everybody has their own calling. Everybody has their own set of skills. You know, I wasn't meant to be dunking in the NBA, but I'm making the stage for those guys to be dunking on, you know, and I'm blessed for that, and I'm great at it. And you know, like I said, when you leave the earth, you want to have a legacy, and this is my form of a legacy, and I love it.
Well, I'm going to let you get back to everything you do. I'm going to throw some quick fire questions at you, and then they're only 30% of your final grade. So I'm going to throw these at you. You answer them as quick as you can, and I'm going to let you go knock off for the rest of the day.
All right, man.
Here we go. If you were not in the industry, what would you be doing?
Oh, man. Honestly, I wasn't in hardwood.
Yep.
Shoo, that's a great question. I don't know, man. I really don't know.
When you were 8 years old, you're like, I think I want to paint gymnasiums. Good for you. That's
man,
having vision.
I wanted to play basketball growing. Every kid wanted to play sports, I feel like. But no, I went to college for accounting, and then I dropped out. So this wasn't for me. You know what I mean? Everybody has their route and their path.
Hey, it's good for the rest of us.
Yeah.
So in the industry, right, or in the work that you do, who do you respect and admire? Who are you looking up to?
Oh man, there's hundreds of guys, dude.
Yeah.
I can list them all. There's Pat Derry from Awesome Floors down in Tampa.
Excellent.
He's been a great mentor of mine for some years now. I used to call him. He'd come up to Atlanta and help me screen and go like 50,000 feet. It'd be just me and him, man. You know, just giving him a taste of my side of life. And, you know, him being a little bit older than me, he's got some great wisdom that he sheds on me, and he always taps in, make sure I'm doing all right. There's a guy named Sprig Lynn. I'm sure you heard of him.
Oh, yeah. His name comes up all the time. He's on my post.
He's a great guy. I really, really look up to him, man. Obviously, him being just so legendary in the game and doing what he does out in D.C. is just inspiring, honestly. And let me think, who else? What is his name? I say in New York. He's dope up there in New York City. Yep. He's a young black guy like myself, you know, and that's something else. Like being African American and Hispanic, there's not a lot of black floor guys. Just to say it short, like I don't know too many. Probably
no, our two were here today. I'm not even joking.
Yeah,
they were here. You're right. You're absolutely right.
No, it's really cool, man. And like I actually had the opportunity to talk to a couple of older guys. There's like they called themselves the Six Pack. I'm gonna do some more research on them. But there were 6 black contractors from like the 60s and 70s, and these guys have been around. They got generational floor companies, but nobody's ever touched and tapped into the gym floor game. And like I'm one of the first to have done that, and I'm very fortunate in that aspect as well. You know, just a lot of inner city kids, African American kids, and people that growing up, you know, they get sold dreams. I feel like, you know, NBA, NFL, you know, sports, or you know, rapper, be all this big flashy stuff, and they're never really shown the opportunity to really start your own business or just work hard. Anybody for that matter, forget your skin color, but. Right, I think, like, you know, more kids need to get shown the trades, man, because, like, there's a huge, like, I can't find anybody who wants to work, and, like, they want to get paid great money for little to no knowledge and little to half as much work ethic as I have, and it's like, I'm not paying a grown man to text half the day, you know what I'm saying? So
no, I've had that problem, too. Get off that phone and get to work. So you're having an impact on people's lives because of the impact it's having in yours. The last question I'm going to ask you, you got any weird stuff, painted at home? You got like a wild fridge, a toilet you painted your doghouse? Anything else that you're painting just because you have to?
I mean, I paint on canvases. I paint with my daughter a lot. Yep. I actually recently started working on these. So I want to take, the gym floor game. I was just thinking of a way, something else creative that I could do with it, So I started making tables. So like you were at the Boston Celtics court. They have the Boston Square. It's that big parquet. Mm-hmm. So I made a parquet table essentially out of big 2-foot by 2-foot squares. And then, I coated it like a gym floor. I put my friend's company logo on there. And I'm going to start doing that, and trying to figure out different ways to take that to the next level. Might be a different meeting.
Well, you know what, Luis Perez, you are a good dude. I'm really glad that we got a chance to talk because you're a lot of fun, man.
Hey, man, I really appreciate you having me, bro. It's been great.
You keep doing what you're doing and get some stuff in there. And you know what? Keep writing, too. You should write a little bit about your travels when you're out there because I really find what you're doing fascinating. And I like the way that you talk about what you do. You bring a lot to the table with it. You keep doing what you're doing. You're making us all look good.
That's love, man. I appreciate you very much. Be safe, and I'll talk to you soon, sir.
All right, man. You take care. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you. Have a great one. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
To read more about sports floor artist Luis Perez, go to woodfloorbusiness.com and just put Luis's name in the search box. That's Luisperez. Thanks for listening to All Things Wood Floor by Wood Floor Business. Don't forget to rate the podcast and subscribe so you don't miss a single episode.